Lisa Marie, can you see the timer?
Oh, yeah.
And we're ready to begin? Sorry, that was a little technical. Okay, then we're ready to begin. Our sixth contestant, Lisa Marie Gelhaus. That unknown heart. That unknown heart, Lisa Marie Gelhaus.
If any of you have children, or if you know somebody who has children, you might have seen something like this. Oh, I know if you're not a doctor, you probably have no idea what you're looking at. I, too, am clueless. As I stare at the computer screen during my daughter Alessia's sonogram, my eyes are peeled, desperately searching for something, anything that's recognizable as that tiny human being that's been growing inside of her for the last 5 months. Alessia and I, we want to see this little guy because we want to start imagining what he'll be like. And instead, all we got was this weird picture of my grandson's beating heart. Toastmasters, I'm about to take you from my not yet born grandson, maybe not today, all the way to my late father. Come with me. My parents were divorced when I was a little girl. And in my 10-year-old mind, my dad, Jerry, was a bad guy. I blamed him for turning my world upside down. As adults, I would run into him at family meetings, events, reunions. But we never really got to know each other. It was on a cross-country vacation with my sister and her family when all of that would change. We got a phone call. We were called away from our camping trip with the news that my father's chemotherapy had gone terribly wrong. So we made a mad dash, 500 miles from Wyoming to Colorado so we could be by his bedside. And there we set up camp again, this time in the hospital parking lot. We called it Camp Jerry. It soon became an unlikely and somewhat loud 24-hour picnic with us and my father's family and friends. Inside, my father never lost his gruff sense of humor. I remember him shaking a finger at the big swoosh on my nephew's sweatshirt. Kid, how much do they pay you to wear that? Despite his good humor and the support from Camp Jerry, my dad wasn't getting any better. So we packed him up and we took him home so that he could be with his beloved dog, Tucker. And as expected, he quietly passed away. I was tasked with organizing the memorial for my dad in a friend's front yard. And as I prepared, I realized I barely knew the man. I was ashamed to think about how little we'd been in touch over the past 30 years. So I gathered everybody together and I asked everybody to tell their own Jerry story. My aunts, his sisters, sang Irish hymns, otherwise known as drinking songs. And his buddies reminisced. It wasn't until later when a man several decades younger than my father came up to me and introduced himself as Johnny. You know, Lisa, your dad saved my life. Really? Wow. Yeah. He He literally talked me out of killing myself with heroin. Wow, I thought, what? My irresponsible, chain-smoking, truck-driving father did what? Yeah. You know what? He checked up on me every day for months. He talked to me. He convinced me. He yelled at me. Sometimes he whispered to me. He literally weaned me off of that poison. And that's when it hit me. Not only did I not know what my father had been up to for the past 30 years, I didn't know his heart. I don't know my grandson's heart. I want to know about my grandson's heart. And I know I'm not the only one who does this. Sometimes we freeze frame on our first impressions. We fall into this mental laziness where we think we know about people, but basically we're just assuming what we know about them, and what we don't know, we invent so that our first impressions are right. I couldn't see the inner beauty of my father because of my first impression. But Johnny opened my eyes, illuminated me, so that I could see who he really was. Think for a moment about who you think you know, but you're just making assumptions. It's never too soon to let go of your preconceptions and discover people's true essence. Discover what's in their heart. That day at the sonogram, I got one picture. So that I would recognize my son, or my grandson, I wish it were my son, but it's my grandson, among a sea of babies. It is. I want to imagine what it'll be like. Will he be a lover or fighter? I don't know. But this time I'm not going to make that mistake. This time, I'll wait and watch while he reveals his unknown heart.